Welcome to this video in which I'm going to discuss the use of since, from, for. I repeat, the use of since, from, for. Here, since, particularly this word since, has been used wrongly and is still being used wrongly throughout India. It is highly prevalent and it is unfortunate. And sometimes I see even the educated, highly educated people use it wrongly. Okay, so since versus from versus for. Now, reference, what is the reference point? Our reference point is somebody relocated to Pune in the year 2011 or 2011 and settled here. And that gentleman or lady or whoever is still living here. So that is the reference. 2011, and right now we are in the year 2021. Now look at these sentences and ask yourself which one is correct. He has been living in Pune since 10 years. He has been living in Pune from 10 years. He has been living in Pune from 2011. I repeat, he has been living in Pune since 10 years. He has been living in Pune from 10 years. He has been living in Pune from 2011. What do you say? Feeling confused? The first one is what I find ubiquitous, highly prevalent across our country since 10 years, since 20 years, since 5 hours. So, all the three sentences are wrong, absolutely wrong. Now, how to say this? The correct way is he has been living in Pune for 10 years, or we can say he has been living in Pune since 2011, 2011. So for a period of time we use for, and for a point of time we use since. Now let us go to an expert, the reliable source. As you can see, this is Cambridge Dictionary, and it tells us for or since question mark, and it clearly says we use for with a period of time in the past, present, or future. Remember, for a period of time, whether it is past, present, or future, we use for. We use since with a point in time in the past. So we use since to denote a point of time, and that too only in the past. Now compare, he lived in Oxford for 3 years and then he moved. An action which is completed in the past. He lived in Oxford for 3 years. They have lived in Oxford for a couple of months. You can't say they have lived in Oxford since a couple of months. Absolutely wrong. Here the implication is began in the past and continues into the present. We are going to stay in Oxford for 3 days and then we are going to London for a day. This is future plans. So To summarize, for refers to periods of time. For example, mind you, E dot G dot, it's a Latin expression. Full form is exempli gratia, but in English we say for example. And never use the word for before eg, uh, as I have seen some students, not some, many students wrongly use in schools. So, for example, 3 years, 4 hours, ages, a long time, months, years. Like, he has not written to me any letter, he has not written to me for 3 years or for the last 3 years, which Americans would prefer to say for the past 3 years. Or he has not touched his book, school book or college book, for 4 hours. He has not written to me for ages. He has not written to me for a long time, or he has not written to me for months and years together, or just for months and years. So that this is all about for, which is used to denote a period of time. Now let us go. They have lived in Oxford since 2004. Now, since refers to a previous point in time. So, 2004 is a point of time. Therefore, we say since 2004. Here we cannot use for. Warning. We don't use since with periods of time. Like, she has been on the phone for hours. That is the correct expression. But she has been on the phone since hours. Absolutely wrong. Now let us look at a few more examples. First, let me show you the examples of for. This is since. She has been off work since Tuesday, because Tuesday is a point of time. We have lived here since 2006. I haven't eaten since breakfast, because when I had my breakfast, that is also considered a point of time. So I haven't eaten since breakfast. He has been working in a bank since leaving school. So when he left school, that is a point of time. Since the party, she had only spoken to him once. That is also a point of time. They have a split up. Somebody makes a statement, they have a split up, and then the other person asks, since when? That was years ago. I have changed jobs since then. And then further explanation. Use for, not since, with a period of time. I have been learning English for 5 years. I have been learning English since 5 years. Absolutely wrong, which Indians wrongly use, and that is why this sentence has been struck out. Let us look at some examples of for. Definition number 10. Indicating the length of a period of time. That is where you use for. The first example is already there. He was jailed for 12 years. Let us look at some other examples. I haven't seen him for some time, because some time is a period of time. Do not stay out in the sun for lengthy periods, blah blah blah. The onus is put on the student's parents to get him or her to school for the period of time, blah blah blah. What finally pushed me to this decision was getting stuck in a tunnel on a congested train for a long period, for then for about the same length of time. Okay, it involves attendance at weekly 2 hours workshop for a period of 7 weeks. Let us jump to here. Students have been able to have water bottles on their desks for 3 hours, not since 3 hours. Having worked at the shop for 23 years, blah blah blah. So having worked at the shop for 23 years, not since 23 years. Let us go back to my original 3 sentences. They are all wrong, but here I used the word from also. Now let me tell you when to use from. You can use from only if you use to along with from. Like he, let us say, he lived in Pune from 2011 or 2011 to 2019. So he lived in Pune from 2011 to 2019. So this is how we use since, this is how we use for, and this is how we use from, which can be used only with another preposition to. I hope this has been of some help to you. Until my next video, bye.